tribe. And so the covenant is brought back together. God made a covenant with David, the great king. But the greatest of all covenants, the greatest of all these solemn bindings, comes with Jesus Christ. There will never, ever be another covenant. When you listen to the prayer of institution at Mass over the chalice that will become the precious blood of Christ, it talks about, the priest talks about and prays about the new covenant. This is the covenant of my blood, the blood of the new and eternal covenant, which will be poured out for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins. The covenant is the covenant of the blood of the Lamb. And in the new covenant, in this new covenant relationship, Jesus becomes the priest who offers the covenant, who offers the sacrifice, but he also becomes the lamb of the sacrifice through his blood, which unites us and binds us in a bond of love, of charity, and of God's mercy. So in this covenant, the marriage covenant, you know, a lot of people say that marriage is a contract. Well, if it is a contract, that's not very good language. Because if you look at marriage as being a contract, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up because you're not speaking the language. Yes, it's going to be legal. You know, we cannot marry you without a marriage license. So that you are going to go to the courthouse and you're going to get a marriage license and you're going to do two things. First of all, you're going to swear that in the state of Kentucky that you are over the 13. Because in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the minimum age to get married is 13. From 13 to 18, you have to have a parent to sign off for you. But you can legally get married in the Commonwealth at the age of 13. And I bet you, if you go back, some of your great-grandparents were married at 13 and 14. Because that was the norm. You know, that was how they did it back then. That was the custom back then. You know, that's why you see some marriages that are lasting 60 and 70 years. They didn't wait till they were 30 to get married. They got married when they were 14 and 15. And so they're able to pile up anniversaries on anniversaries and get those big numbers. And we're probably, the next generation is not going to see those numbers. It's just not going to happen. So when you get that marriage license, the state says that you can get married. Then you give them $35 or whatever it costs, and you go off and do your thing. And it becomes legal. But it's not a contract. Contract language says, you're going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and we're going to live happily ever after. When you enter into a contract with an employee and an employer, the guy who runs the company says, I'm going to pay you this amount of dollars if you do this and you do that, and we'll be okay. Where the contract breaks down is when one of these two parties doesn't do what they say that they're going to do. And then something bad's going to happen. Either there's going to be a strike, either there's going to be a layoff, or somebody's going to get fired because they have broken the contract. So in marriage, contract language, you're setting yourself up for failure because you're not talking about the right language. The right language is not contract language. The right language is covenant language. Because in the sacred covenant blessings, two things are required of a husband and wife, and a wife and a husband, of what God does for all of us. And what does God do for me and God do for you? God loves me. In contract language, there is no mention of love. It's all a mention about duty. You're going to do this and you're going to do that, and we're happy. As long as you do this. Now, you don't do this, then we're going to get in trouble. In our contract, if we're going to get married, you're going to cook 3 meals a day. I come home and you said, I ain't cooking no more. You broke my contract. Out of here. Out of here. I come in, part of my contract was I give you my paycheck. Because this is the way it's going to be. You're going to take care of the money. When I come in, I give you half my paycheck and I put the other half in my pocket. I've got to go buy some beer. I broke the contract. You're out of here. In covenant language, there's always the language of love. And this one is really, really important. Mercy and forgiveness. Mercy and forgiveness. To have the grace and the faith in the person that you are entering into a marriage with, not only to say to that person, which is easy to say, I love you, that's a piece of cake, but to apologize. That's much, much harder. But it is much more important. It's just as important in the covenant to be able to apologize and ask that person whom you love or should love unconditionally as God loves you to accept your apology and to accept and to forgive you unconditionally. That is tough. But that's what the church is asking us to do. The church is asking us to enter into a marriage covenant. Not a marriage contract, but a marriage covenant. By which a man and a woman establishes. The Catholic Church will not ever, ever, ever condone same-sex marriages. She will not. She cannot, because it violates her code. The code says by which a man and a woman establishes in a same-sex marriage is between a man and a woman and a woman. Nowhere in the Catholic Church would a priest perform a same-sex marriage, because it violates what the church teaches us that marriage is all about. For the whole life, marriage is so serious that when you ask that this covenant be established, it is for the life of those who are entering into the covenant. And the only way that the covenant can be dissolved is by death. Will you love me for better or for worse? In sickness and in health, all the days of my life. For the whole life to be ordered by the natural order. For the good of the spouses. So the code teaches us that we're entering into this covenant. We're entering into it in the spirit of what God does for us by loving us, having mercy on us, and forgiving us. We're entering into it with the content to make this marriage